Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our Quick Takes conversations on Medicaid leadership. My name is Hillary Kennedy, the Program Director for Medicaid Leadership over at NAMB, and I'm joined today again by my colleague, Ed O'Neill. We're happy to talk to you as part of our series, which we are doing in partnership with the Center for Healthcare Strategies and funding from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Many of these quick take conversations and resources have focused on how you can develop your team and lead them through this really challenging time. And today we're going to be a little bit more self-reflective and think through ways that you can continue your own professional development during this moment. So with that, I'll pass it over to Ed.
Great. Hillary, great to be back talking about leadership in the time of COVID. Today I want to take just a couple of minutes to talk about a new routine that you could develop while you're at home, and we're looking now to a much longer term prospect of that happening, and that's developing yourself. I know I'm always fixing to improve myself. I'm always fixing to get better at things, but never seem to get around to it. So just a few suggestions about a disciplined approach to get to it. And this does have a very basic behavioral orientation. First step is just identify something. I'm going to say it doesn't really matter. Something that's important, that impacts work. I'd start there. I'd save the personal stuff till you get good at it before you tell your loved ones that you're going to be working on something that bothers them. And pick something that, you've heard before, you've got time now to work on. I think reading something about it, you don't have to go to the Harvard Business Review or to the academic literature to read about it. A quick Google search and 15 minutes on 3 or 4 things that look interesting will give you all you need to know to get started on that. I bet you come up with 3, 4, 5 ideas. When writing this, I did that for a couple of topics and was surprised just how helpful it was as a place to get started and to focus. I think many of us have lots of data. You've probably got performance reviews from the past few years. You may have a 360-degree feedback instrument that's you've participated in the past year or two. Some folks have Myers-Briggs type inventory, MBTI, or ThyroB, or any of the raft of psychometrics. They're all valuable. Look at them as a whole. Take a look across. Don't pick out discrete data points. See if you can get the big picture, the themes. More conversation, less conversation. Give more people freedom. Give them more direction. Whatever theme comes about, and see if you can come up with a bit of a hypothesis of that. I'm a bit introverted. People need to hear from me more. That would enhance my ability to delegate if I communicated more clearly. That's the hypothesis about this. Check it out with a colleague or someone that you trust that has some insight into you. Peers are the best. Bosses carry a little baggage, and people who report directly to you, it's hard for them always to speak the truth because you're the power. So a peer that sees you, that interacts, that knows you well, that you trust is the best choice there. And if not, sometimes a friend who sees you in lots of different other kinds of settings would be helpful. From that discussion, you might ask them, well, what would they do? Get some ideas from them, but come up with a plan. I am going to do the following to give more freedom, more responsibility to people that I delegate to, would be an example. And then not a long time period to run the test, 2-3 weeks, all that's necessary. In fact, if the idea is too big and it goes beyond a couple of weeks, get a smaller idea, get a subset of that idea that you could actually work on. We're handicapped a bit with being at a distance, but we still have interactions. You still have some measures. And then decide how you're going to evaluate it. What are you going to look for? What kinds of behavior changes? Who can observe those behavior changes and let you know? The before and after test would be helpful. All of those things, but make sure there's some sort of measure of whether or not you've improved at it. Self-assessment are fine, but it's really terrific to complement that self-assessment with some input from some others that might see some of that dimension. So you're at home, you got to live with yourself more intensively than you probably thought. Better to take some of the time now to make some improvements. Might make that living with yourself just a little bit easier. Hillary, that's about it for me today. I'll turn it back to you.
Great. Thanks, Ed. As always, we appreciate your time and your insights, and we hope that people have been enjoying this series. We will be back soon with our next conversation as part of the Quick Takes. So thanks, everyone. Have a good day.